All right, here we are in another playthrough of Elden Ring. I'm playing on an astrologer. I'm just going to say mage from this point on, astrologer. And the very first thing we're going to do is go over the game controller. Because when I come into these games, I'm not used to playing on a game controller, mostly play games on the keyboard, just to familiarize myself quickly so I can get started quickly. So here I am, got my Xbox game controller on here and using the left stick for moving forwards and backwards. If we push down the B key at the same time we're sprinting, right? And we double click it or, click it rapidly. We roll, so we can roll forward, we can roll backwards, we can roll left, we can roll right when we're using the B key and the left stick, all right? I crouch down. If I take the left stick and push it down, stand back up, push it down, crouch, stand back up. So that's the left stick. The right stick, look right, look left, look up, look down. All right, if I push it down, doesn't do anything. All right? Not that I realize it. Well, I guess if I'm looking a particular way. So if I see here, if I look this way, I'm facing that way, it just pulls me back to where I'm looking. That can be useful. All right, let's talk about the left trigger. So the left trigger, I've got a shield in my hand. Let's look at my equipment. So shield is the only thing I have. On the left side, on the right side, I have a staff and a sword. So using the left trigger, this is how I use the shield. If I use the right trigger, melee. Let's put the sword on. So there's your power on the left trigger. If I use the right bumper, melee. All right. If I put the staff back on, right bumper, I'm casting my spells, whatever spell I have, loaded. And if I hit the directional, I can change my spell by hitting it up. So, all right, so that's how I move that. Don't have anything down below. As soon as we get our flask in there, we will show that off, all right? Before we get to buttons, let's use the select. It basically brings up the map. I don't have any maps, so it's nothing but the fog of war in here, so nothing there. Let's use menu. So menu pops up I want to say the HUD, but it's the menu. So on the left side, I've got equipment, inventory, status. Anything that's not lit up is not active. I don't have a crafting kit yet, right? So I move over to the right. I want to go ahead and take this off now. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting the Y to bring it up. And then if I hit the A, I take it off, all right? And then if I hit the B, I go back and you can see that's been removed, all right? As soon as I get the torrent, I like to put my torrent here. I like to put my summons here. And the other side, I will use this for my lantern. And then this is random, all right? It could be different things that I want to bring up very quickly, all right? All right, so we've talked about the left trigger, we've talked about the right trigger, we've talked about the left bumper, there's block, talked about the right bumper, right? And that's using my staff, or if I've got a sword or another weapon, using whatever the weapon art is in that, so that will take place. So let's see here. Talked about the left stick here, up and down. We've talked about the right stick. All right. And we've talked about the directional pad. Up, down, left, right. Change weapons. There we go. Put my shield back on. There we go. All right. Let's talk about the buttons. So the Y button basically will pop up what I have active as far as my weapon capabilities. So you see this, my spells here, what spells are available, what's in my right hand, what's in my left hand, right? And then whatever I've got going on down below, right? So the Y button is select. So in this particular case, it's saying for me to hit the Y button to pick whatever this is up, and there you go. All right. So the X button, again, is select. And as soon as we pass over any resources, I will pick them up. And if there's no resources, I'm trying to find something on my body, all right? The A button is jump, all right? And then if I'm using the left stick, it's jumping forward, jumping backwards, jumping to the left, jumping to the right. If I'm sprinting a jump, I jump further. Another tip and trick is to jump, and on the way down, hold the B button as you see right here, then move forward and hit A button to jump for most, standing position. All right, so jump up, hold B, forward, jump, right? And the faster I move shove the left stick up and jump, I jump into, like for instance, I'm standing on this board. There we go, I'm standing on the board. Oh, I didn't do it right there. And that would have been a fall to my death or whatever I was doing, right? So jump. There we go. See how far I jumped from that board? All right, so that becomes very important. So again, if we go back to the system, and then we go over to our controller, this is what we went over, all right? So we see that the A is jump, the B is back step, or dodge, roll, dash. The Y is event action, examine, open. The X is use, so if I had something to use, a potion or something like that, I would use the X button, all right? We talked about the left trigger, we talked about the right trigger, we talked about the left bumper, which is basically navigating away, forward. We talked about movement on the left stick. We talked about the looking around with the right stick, so move camera, change target, all right? So if I target something, and we'll do that when we get out there, I'm able to change targets using the right stick. Directional, switch sorcery, incantations, we talked about that. Switch left-hand armaments on the left directional, the right directional is right-hand armaments, and then the down directional is switching items, all right? And then we talked about select is the map. In this case, I've got system up, but you can see it's map. And then over on the right, the menu basically brings up the menu, all right? That should about cover it for now, so let's get started in the game.